Good morning. It's Sunday morning. Glory be to God. I'm here. Gosh, I've lived for several years here in a kind of a paradise. And economic times being what they are, my landlords are being put in a position, that they've got to take care of their family and take care of their own. And I wouldn't even record this except I have been doing this for some time, and uh, nobody really has picked up viewing and stuff. So, it's going to be people who have a heart for what my heart is. And it's like this. I knew this day was coming uh, here. Um, I know that God is going to come through in every promise that was made to me. And sometimes the biggest heartbreaks have been the biggest changes that have led me to a path of living a forever. And oh, golly, there's so many things going on in the world and in my life. Uh, but I have a dog that's been born here, and we're going to be moving. And we we this thing is very fearful for me. Um, Not so much for me. I went to prison, and I had a dog, two dogs actually, uh, and a cat. And the dog was an old dog and was sent up to me so that she could have a life because they didn't have a place for her. And she wanted to live with us every second that she could. And they took care of her, I know, as long as they could. But she's getting old, old. And I put a burden on all kinds of everybody's. And all of that's coming back. And I've done my best that I could to make amends with folks, but some of those amends, it would hurt them more than it would help them, or hurt me more than it would help them. And I've been brutally honest with folks in this process um, about, you know, coming clean with everything, as though I was going to go stand in front of God. Because, if you're going to live a everyday thing, it's best to keep your slate as clean as you can and have the wash offs be small wash offs, not a complete remake. Uh, so, anyway, I have a 10 gallons of shit in a 5-gallon bucket, and my life is going to streamline, and I'm not going to have so much control over it, um, which is a very frightening thing. But I think that we're all coming up on this. If what's being said by my scientific community and what's being said by all, we have some very challenging times coming up, and I've always hoped to be the first one in and the last one out. So I'm just sharing that this is a big deal for me, and it's any way I go, there's going to be sadness and goodbyes, and that's not. I always would like it to be a celebration. When I was in the military, when I knew that I was leaving the command, I always was such an aggravating asshole that they were glad to see me go, and I've been that way kind of like all my life. because I really don't want people fearing for me and this, that, and the other, because I'm going to be all right forever. Not because of anything of my own, but because there is an entity that won my heart that I know is the thread of everything and loves us from the very start to the very end. And when these things happen, feels it all the way through on every side. And I've prayed. My mother, when she passed, she was a prayer warrior. And she told me near the end that I was the one to pick up the praying. And so I've done my best. I have a pretty big family, so I pray a lot. And I've gone out in places that were considered dangerous, I guarantee you, especially up in Skyway there. I endangered people that loved me because they were with me, and I felt compelled that I had to go and pray and do that there. So, long story short, would somebody please call me the Wambulance? Wah, wah. Where we go one, we go all. Much love. Black Burr out.